All of my niggas is savages. Meet up the opponents with scavengers. I know that in the block got passengers. I love Jesus Christ and Bible passages. My girl so fly she have a Merlin. She love the magic shit like Merlin. And the balls like a Irvin. Shit that kept it clean with this detergent. Shit, I done let the cat out of the bag. Okay, they get it, let it take outside. Let it breathe, get some air. Baby, please, I'm already there. Jacket and greenery everywhere. My purpose in me is a love affair. Smelling in the trees is a button here. Carry down with the team if you want my pill. Hey, this is my style. I do it with this intention. Hey, the crowd go wild. So I guess I'm gonna keep on spitting. Nigga, I borrowed your style. What you want in your honorable mention? I'm rocking it better than you. I'm making retire no pension. I just get the bread like a fool. If I say I'm spread and make it smooth. My movement gon' move as a move. The only option I can lose. Hey, never gonna skid. You ain't prepared. I ain't sorry. Your breeze clearly walk the ass over here. I ain't sorry. Man, you think I ran out with your bit. I ain't sorry. You quit because you think I stole your career. I ain't sorry. Hey, you ain't feeling me. No apologies. I ain't sorry. Hey, sorry, not sorry. Hey, I ain't sorry. I don't even feel that bad, my nigga. I ain't sorry. Giving a fuck about your ass, my nigga. I ain't sorry. You got options, nigga, choose. Keep it popping.
Keep popping like the tools. Yo, what's up, team? Bienvenidos. Broadcasting live from a planet called Earth, the bioregion of Cascadia, the city named Supportland. This is Coffee and Bonghits with Jessie. That's me. I am Jessie. And guess what, y'all? It's Monday. What? Monday. Yeah, Monday. What? Monday. Yeah, Monday. Huh? So it is Monday. I don't want to waste a lot of time other than to say that I woke up this morning and saw that Ted Nugent said that COVID-19 was fake because we didn't shut down the country for COVIDs 1 through 18. Can't call it. Okay. I want to jump right into the Derek Chauvin trial if we can. So I'm going to try to make that happen. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that because I was listening to it on CNN on my TuneIn radio app. Speaking of TuneIn radio app, if you're listening to this in a podcast device, if you're listening to this on iHeartRadio or Pandora or Spotify, the TuneIn app, iTunes, Ghana, Amazon Podcasts, I don't know, there's a lot. But if you are listening to us in one of those platforms, we really appreciate you. We really do. I don't understand how we are having so much success in the podcast form, but maybe it's because you don't have to look at my crazy ass hair or that spot where my beard turned white. Still don't know what the hell is going on. Okay, look, this is what I need. I need somebody to go inside the Facebook group and just type in urbansurvivorman.com. Just go in there and type it, urbansurvivorman.com in the Facebook group. And then that will have it all dialed in for us. And then people can go. So there's a lot of news that I want to talk about today as soon as the Derek Chauvin trial goes to a break. So, look, so it says that this is the trial. Right? It says it's live, but it's got no volume. I'm going to try to refresh it, see what happens. Because I'm listening to it on CNN. So, yeah, that's the same shot. Let me switch now and see if maybe ABC. There we go.
After the use of deadly force. I caution everybody.
Oh, whoa. This is an update about the new Minnesota shooting.
And unedited. Could I have that video start, please?
Damn, perfect timing.
Turn the lights off.
Perfect timing.
Okay.
Go ahead. It should be on both screens.
Put the free fire in between.
Whoa.
You turn the lights back on.
Whoa.
We're trying to terminate this officer.
As you can hear, the officer, while struggling with Mr. Wright, shouts, "Taser, taser," several times. That is part of the officer's training prior to deploying a taser, which is a less lethal device. That is done to make her partners aware, as well as the subject, that a taser deployment will be imminent. During this encounter, however, the officer drew their handgun instead of their taser. For informational purposes, we train with our handguns on our dominant side and our taser on our weak side. So if you're right-handed, you carry your firearm on your right side and you carry your taser on the left. This is done purposefully and is trained. As I watch the video and listen to the officer's commands, it is my belief that the officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright with a single bullet. This appears to me, from what I viewed and the officer's reaction and distress immediately after, that this was an accidental discharge that resulted in the tragic death of Mr. Wright. I have asked the BCA to conduct an independent investigation into the shooting and death. Once they are completed, I expect they will submit their findings, independent of me, to the appropriate authorities, the appropriate attorneys that will look and review this case. I'm also stressing that I do hope for the community to be patient and allow this investigation, criminal investigation, to be completed as thoroughly as possible. I believe Mr. Wright deserves this, as do all involved. The officer is currently on administrative leave. Make a short comment about what happened last night to our community, a community that I've been a part of for 27 years. I've seen some of the worst damage to this city I've ever seen in those years. Again, peaceful protesting, expressing yourself, we fully support that. But the ravaging of our businesses, the looting of our stores, the destruction to our pharmacies, we cannot tolerate that. I'm hoping that the community will have this level of transparency and know that this is being investigated by the correct authorities, which is the BCA. Unfortunately, they're not here today, but they are handling the investigation. And I have very little information besides what I've just given to you because they are handling that investigation. Mr. Mayor, do you have any comments that you want to make?
All right, so we're going to open it up for questions, but I just want to reiterate that, obviously this is deeply tragic, and we're going to do everything that we can to ensure justice is done, to ensure that our communities are made whole. And with respect to the events last night, obviously there were folks in the community who were grieving, who showed up initially at the location where Dante Rice was killed, and were gathering. And obviously later on, as the night went on and unfolded, there were a series of events that led to an escalation in the protest later on into the evening. Later on, I did issue a curfew, which was in place until 6 a.m. this morning, to ensure that we're taking steps to keep the community safe. We do want to emphasize that we believe strongly in people's rights to gather and to express their grievance and to protest. That is a fundamental American right, and we're going to protect that right. And at the same time, we're going to also work to protect the safety of our community. And so we'll now open it up for questions.
Is it going to be sent over to?
I'm gonna stick with this for just a couple more minutes.
Possible charges.
Chief?
far too early to know which authority is going to be prosecuting, if it's their prosecution. So I don't know how that's going to play out. Unfortunately, the BCA normally is present here during these types of conferences. But what I've understood is the releasing of video this early in a situation is not something that they condone. They leave it up to me to do that. And as I decided to do that, they're not part of this conversation. They're not part of this press conference at this time.
Why did you decide to do this today?
I felt the community needed to know what happened. They needed to see it. I needed to be transparent. And I want to be forthright. Yeah, due respect to Dante as well.
Chief, can you talk about what led to the traffic stop? Dante Wright's mother told reporters he had an air freshener hanging on his rear view.
From what I've understood from the public safety briefing, there was an expired registration on the vehicle. That means the tabs were expired. Upon arrival, when the officer made contact, I think at that time when he walked up to the car, he discovered that there was a hanging item from the rearview mirror. So there was a contact that the officer went up there initially for, obtained his ID or his name, and he walked back to his car, and at that time he ran his name and he found out that he needed a warrant. That's why they were moving from the car and they were making a custodial arrest.
Can you tell us more about the warrants?
I have very little information on the warrant other than it was a gross misdemeanor warrant.
Dante's brother tells us his brother didn't know he had a warrant for his arrest and recently missed meeting with his probation officer.
That I don't know.
So there's a perception, I think in the US and around the world that have Dante White been my color, this wouldn't have happened to him. Why is it that police officers in the United States keep killing young black men and young black women far higher rate than they do white?
I don't have an answer to that question.
This black man is real here in the state of Minnesota. I can answer that question.
Was there a gun found in the car?
There's no gun that I was made aware of. I did not search the car, but I have not been made aware of a gun in the vehicle.
The officer, is she under any type of
There has been
mental evaluation?
There has been a fair amount of social chatter in media, which I don't normally comment on, but there was some comments in social media that she had committed suicide. That is not true. That is not true. To the best of my knowledge, she's being taken care of right now.
What can you tell us about this officer, how long she's been with the department?
At this point in time, I don't have that. I will not release that information. That should be released very shortly, though. I believe the BCA has a system in place where they'll be releasing the names of all parties involved and also all their training records and all that information as far as tenure and seniority. That'll be released shortly.
Adrian Roddick again, do you plan to step down if people call for your resignation after the actions outside of this police department last night?
At this point, I do not.
Chief, what was happening then? What did we see in the video prior to the shot? You described the taser and the weapon. What was happening?
I'm not in the mind of the officer. I can only see what you're all seeing. I can couple that with some of the training much of the training that I've received, and that's why I'm believing it to be an accidental discharge.
But prior to that, there was some sort of activity going on. When they were trying to take him to custody.
It appeared to me from the video that the individual was trying to get back into his car to leave.
Chief, how often do officers go through firearm training to try and maybe prevent something like that happening where you don't make that kind of mistake? Is it annual training or how does that work?
We have numerous trainings throughout the year. We don't try to lump it all in one group. So there's numerous trainings where we do tactical training, we do firearms training, we do taser deployments. We have pretty thorough taser requalifications on a yearly basis, but then we also do a number of scenarios and role-playing exercises as well. I can take one more question, please.
In the midst of a pandemic, why was it a priority to pull someone over for expired tags?
And I don't know if that was a priority, but it was a violation that the officer observed and initiated a traffic stop.
Chief, are you aware that there's a significant delay? Are you aware that there's a significant delay in getting tabs and things of this nature from the DMV? So even people who have purchased tabs are unable to get them because there's a 2 to 3 month backlog. Are you aware of that? And is your staff also aware of that? And have you made any type of recommendations to your staff to be mindful that we're in the middle of a pandemic and don't pull people over for tabs, particularly because there is a significant delay in getting those tabs from the Department of Motor Vehicles? Are you aware of that?
I am aware of that.
Police.
I am aware of that.
Is your staff aware of that?
Yes, they are.
Chief,
That was the last question. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mr. Mayor, may I ask you, in that video.
Dead because of bad
A
tags.
fatal mistake. She did the wrong thing. We understand she's going to be receiving some type of counseling, but should she lose her job, it's abundantly clear that she killed someone.
Is she still gonna get
To
paid?
be very clear, my position is that we cannot afford to make mistakes that lead to the loss of life of other people in our profession. And so I do fully support releasing the officer of her duties.
Is you support her being fired?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, you just said yourself, the whole world is watching the Twin Cities right now. Why weren't police forces looking out for, just looking out about what they were doing? Why weren't they taking great precautions when they got involved in incidents like this? Do you have any answer for that?
I don't have an answer. I have not spoken with the officers involved myself. At this point, the BCA is the one that's in contact with those officers, and in fact, is the only one that's allowed to be in contact with those officers.
Mr. Mayor, clearly, because you answered the question directly, you've given some thought to this idea of releasing this officer. With that said, what is the process? Can she be released immediately? Does she have to go through some type of appeal process? How does that work?
Well, under our form of government, the city manager who's here, you can come up, Kurt, he ultimately actually has control over the police department, not the mayor, and over the chief. So you can comment on that. The city council also, has ultimate authority over what happens in the city collectively. So the city council can take action in this regard as well. Go ahead, Mr. Biden.
Thank you, Mr. Stand, spell your first and last name.
Yeah, my name is Kurt Bogany, Boganey. And in response to the question about termination, all employees working for the city of Brooklyn Center are entitled to due process with respect to discipline. This employee will receive due process, and that's really all that I can say today.
Do you support
What the fuck?
of an officer like this who has made
Yo, man, I got so much to say.
that has cost a resident of yours life? Do you support the termination of this type of officer? What message are we sending here in Brooklyn Center to the rest of the world about the valuation of Black life? Do you support the termination of this type of an officer?
I understand and appreciate the comment that you made and why you said it. But if I were to answer that question, I'd be contradicting what I said a moment ago.
So then get the fuck out of here. Man, the last thing we need is more lip service, more people trying to make sure that they say the right thing. So when they're back up for re-election or when they try to save their job or when their quote appears in the newspaper, we don't need more lip service, man.
What's your expectation for how?
Hey, did one of you guys go into the group and share the show?
The Black and Brown.
Did somebody go in the group and share the show?
What expectation have you communicated?
The Facebook group?
To the chief and to the officers under him for how they are to interface with the vast majority, because the vast majority of this population is Black and brown. How have you communicated to them to interface and interact with people who look like me?
Absolutely, I've communicated that to the chief, and I do believe that the chief concurs with the notion that every resident of Brooklyn Center must be treated fairly, must be treated equitably. The city council has been very clear in its expectations about.
Look, this dude ain't doing nothing but flapping his damn gums.
An office of anti-racism.
Let me turn him down. Sorry, I just burped. That guy ain't got nothing to say. Nobody else has nothing to say. Somebody's about to close that press conference, and then we'll get out of here. We also have an eye on the Derek Chauvin trial. They're in a short break. I don't know. At this point, they might be done for the day. It's hard to say. It's a Monday, though. I think they could probably get a little more work done. But at this point, they would usually go back to lunch. So we probably won't get another chance to watch the Derek Chauvin trial on today's episode, but that's fine. I encourage you guys to listen to it in your own time. I'd like to talk about this. This happened in, I think it was called like Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. And if you missed what just happened, that was so crazy. So the one thing I don't understand is which cop made the decision to pull over the driver. I'm going to assume that it was the same cop that was handcuffing him. So that would be the woman. And I'm just going to assume that because that's usually how that works, right? The arresting officer makes the decision to pull somebody over, and then the other people are backup cops. But it seems like it's usually the original cop that has to make those kind of moves. So here's the thing. They pulled a dude over because he had bad tags during, holy shit. They pulled the dude over because he had bad tags in the middle of a pandemic when the DMV is months behind schedule and everybody knows it, right? So this cop makes a decision to pull over this 20-year-old, I think he's a black kid. The only thing that was made clear is that he's not white and that he looks like a reporter that's in the audience that I can't see. So I'm just going to make an assumption right there based on the crazy world that we live in. So anyways, then the cop is approaching the car and goes on the thing and says that he has something hanging from his rear view mirror. Is that illegal? Why would that be something that, why would that, man, I can't. These people mean nothing to me. Get the hell out of here, fake Tiger Woods. So then that chief came and said some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard. So I want to make something clear. Thank you so much, Finda. I want to make something super clear. The cops do that shit. Did you hear how that cop yelled, "Taser, taser"? That was the same style of yelling that the cops do when they say, "Stop resisting, stop resisting," and you're not resisting. And then you realize the cops aren't even talking to you. They're talking to some potential audience. They're yelling it out, "Stop resisting, stop resisting." You're like, motherfucker, who's resisting? So that lady yelling, "Taser, taser," and then shooting the dude and then saying, "I shot the dude," in my opinion, is just par for the course for the way that police communicate on these treacherous ass stops. She pulled the man over because he had expired tags in the middle of a global pandemic when the motor vehicles department is months behind schedule. And they made it a point to say that there was something hanging from his rearview mirror, and that's why she had to make the apprehension and run his name. And then when she ran his name, she found out he had a warrant for a gross misdemeanor. So while we were looking to see what was going on, while we're watching that, I Googled what gross misdemeanor was. And it just said like a hardcore misdemeanor. That's not a hardcore misdemeanor. That's not a felony, right? So I honestly can't tell you how the judicial system I guess it would be the legislative system, how the legislative system has crafted. I'm not trying to tap dance around fucking words, man. People are dying. That's what I'll just criticize those dudes over. Don't pick your words, homie. Just say the fucking shit. That lady cop fucking pulled that dude over because he had expired tags in the middle of a global pandemic. Then she said it was suspicious because he had something hanging from his rearview mirror. Man, unless it's a human hand or I don't even know what could be suspicious hanging from a rearview mirror. Like, mind your own business at that level, right? So Anyway, so the man is dead. Minnesota is going crazy, and they're calling for martial law. And so the chief of police took a rare step, and he released the footage immediately, right? That shooting just happened yesterday, and he released it. Now, sorry, I got sidetracked reading the comments. Okay, let me regain my focus real quick. So the police chief released that body cam footage, right? And then he said there was another organization that was responsible for handling the response within the interagency response, right? And he said, but they're not here today. And then he alluded to the fact that the reason they weren't here is because of his decision, right? Like they didn't support his decision to release that. And then a little bit later, somebody asked him, I said, Chief, why did you release that? And he was like, I think they deserve to know. Transparency. I have to be honest, when I saw that they were releasing the body cam footage the very next day, I naturally assumed that it would paint the driver in a bad light and it would seek to exonerate the officer in the court of public opinion. Holy shit, no. Holy shit, no, that's not what we saw. We saw the most heinous shit. And for those of you who missed it, the woman officer struggled with the 20-year-old driver. They scuffled just a tiny bit, like in the doorway of his car. It was the open door of his car. And there was his girlfriend, I believe, was in the car. And the girlfriend, the guy called his mom. This isn't from this police report. This is something I was reading earlier. So the driver called his mom and said, Mom, I'm getting pulled over. And he was like, I'll call you back. And then he didn't call the mom back. And then the mom called the kid back, and the dude's girlfriend answered and said that they had just shot him. And that the reason that they shot him was because of the air freshener hanging in the window. But I'll tell you this, man, if an officer is yelling, don't resist, but they're yelling it to an imaginary crowd, the dude's not resisting. That's theater. That's police theater. So when you hear it on the cameras, or when you hear it on the microphone or a recording, it looks like they're innocent. Look, I'm gonna slide out for 30 seconds. It's the bottom of the hour. That means it's halftime. We got a little halftime show. As always, it's Red Panda. If you're listening to this in the podcast version of the show, then go subscribe to some more episodes, which would be cool. And if you're in India, reach out to me and let me know what time you are awake, and we'll do a show there. Because for those who don't know, we did just hit the top, crack the top 1,000 in India for all podcasts total, which is crazy. I thought that it was an aberration that we were even approaching the top 1,000. And I didn't think we'd be able to hold it. And then we held it, and then we busted through. And so super love and appreciation to everybody that lives in India. This is Red Panda. It's a lady who rides a tall-ass unicycle and flips glass china bowls on her head and catches them. All right. I don't know how else to explain it. Here we go. This is Coffee and Bonghits. I am Jessie Sponberg. Every day of the week, I'm Jessie Sponberg, especially on Mondays, though. I am really I'm as Jessie Sponberg as it gets on a Monday. Let's go. Yo. Welcome back to Coffee and Bong Hits with Jessie Sponberg. I am Jessie Sponberg. And first thing I want to do, look, I ain't even smoked today. I need to remind everybody that when I smoke out of a fat Binger device from Binger Glass Designs. The company's so cool, they don't even mess with Facebook. They're only on Instagram. Go check them out. Binger Glass Designs, home of the Fat Binger. And while you are on Instagram, make sure you check out Shane McLemore Custom Toys and Action Figures. Shane McLemore Custom Toys and Action Figures on Etsy, eBay, Instagram, and sometimes Facebook, sometimes kicked off. Don't forget, oh, damn it. 32 minutes into the show before I said don't forget. Okay. We won't. Tomorrow we won't do it. Consider this. Yeah, you don't need a mullet on your head if you have a mullet in your heart. Oh, let me say that again so that I can make sure to just click off of that. Right? Hold on. Look, you don't need a mullet in your hair if you. Hold on. All right. Don't forget the Sick Mullet Company Picnic is in Ginny Springs, Florida, coming up at the end of May, I think. I don't remember. I'm going to have to check the itinerary. Also, if you're interested in piggybacking on some of these adventures as part of our Adventure Buddy travel program, then you should go to the website and check it out. We'll be putting together a couple tours on the mainland, and then it'll be a Hawaii tour. So if you want to get on the mainland one, if you're scared to fly over the ocean, we will be doing a monkey and alligator tour in June, and we will be doing a cobra tour, a cobra tour at the very beginning of July. Ask me about both of those if you want to know. And then a mongoose adventure on the island. Sorry, I was just daydreaming. So check this out. It is 10:35, right? And at 10:35 every day, I play a dope-ass music video to help raise awareness for the meal exchange program, right? I don't think the meal exchange program is operating now that the weather's better and the hot meal is not as much of a necessity, but it's still good that we give attention to them and also give attention to fake cracks. That's right, kids. Fake crack brand, fake cracks. Don't get the fake crack brand, fake cracks, because they're just going to end up breaking right away. You want the ones that'll break after one adventure so that you don't wear them with long pants or jeans. Okay, let me make sure this Derek Chauvin trial isn't back yet. Okay, that's not back yet. So here's a little experiment that I'm trying to do. I don't wake up in the morning and think about some local rapper's song who I'm going to play on the show, right? I just don't. Even though I like to support my rapper friends and shit, it's low value for me, high value for them, right? Low value for me, high value for them, and so I want to try something high value for me. So this is what I woke up with in my head this morning, and it is 10:35. This is Coffee and Bong Hits, and here's some effing Q-tip, yo. Oh, with Kanye.
Bring it back. Bring it back. Can we do it again? Can we do it again? I said
Can we do it again? Let's go. 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 We on the one, two, going each and every place with a mic in their hand. We on the one, two, I'm a my man, going each and every place with a mic in their hand. Brooklyn! People in the ears, so I'll be so loud. This is for your motor, don't take it up. Take off your coat, ladies act like this. Sit down, any of y'all do this like this. See, lyrically, I'm Mario and Teddy on the bubble. Put it in the studio, like a super song. Curry in the AJBs on the promo. Let me take it to the Queen side. We take it to all right, that's just like the swing, baby. All up for second day. Cause we almost there. They could be a black and a Louis always so. They could be white and moving on the press the road. My shit is universal. Let's do that. I don't know what else. You see it something else. You check on the angle. But you act that. So do that. Now they do that. Now they do that. I'm fucking, I'm gonna let you get that from the way, nigga. So, the mothers come be all the brothers. I love it, right? The mothers, so, give me the word that I'm making it out. We are the war tour. With a mic in their hand. Brooklyn! We are the war tour. With a hand in our hand. Brooklyn!
So yo, that was way more fire. That was way more fire, right? Than me just being like, oh yeah, here's this rapper dude that put out a new video. You know what I'm saying? Look, if it's the homies and they shoot it to me, then I could play that shit, right? But otherwise, I'm gonna play like what's in my head when I wake up. So then people are like, well, what are you going to do about copyrights? I think that we might be able to wiggle a little bit running these live performances. Plus, I would rather bump a live performance than a music video anytime because it's all about energy, right? Everything is energetic, man. Mathematical energy that I don't even understand because I'm not that type of a smart dude, right? I'm a different kind of smart dude. I'm smart like when somebody's like, me and my kids from the orphanage just got a flat tire and we need $20 for our fucking haircut appointment. And you're like, yeah, right. And one of your friends is like, oh, I think I believe him. And you're like, no, bro, no, that guy's hustling you. I'm that kind of smart. Situational, but important. Whereas if you're like, all right, Jessie, I want you to help me figure out this complex equation because this formula is going to unlock the meaning of life and turn your entire soul into throwing stars. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. But remember how on Gilligan's Island, the professor would make stuff out of a coconut? He just have a little radio or something made out of a coconut. When I was a little kid, I was like, someday I'm going to be that smart. Apparently, I was dumb as a little kid, too. Hey, you can't win them all, man. Okay. Man, I'm so blessed with birds and abundance. So speaking of abundance, look, if you're listening to this show right now, I'm going to hip you to some shit. The Kudokan is almost done. I got artwork in the mail. We have our 3 letters to put us on the trading charts. The website's halfway, and it's not my website, right? It's not going to be like urbansurvivorman.com/Kudokans. We will have that, but the Kudokans is going to have its own standalone beautiful presentation, like a world-class website, and a whole launch a whole launch strategy that's going to be really unique, and a platform that's going to be unique. Because there's one thing I just want to say about this, and my friend Garth was like, do you have a video where you talk about the coin? And I'm like, kind of, but I started crying in the middle, so you don't want to watch that. Here's the thing. Nobody can tell you what is the difference between a coin that succeeds and a coin that fails, right? There are some things to take into consideration, and there's a checklist of things you want to make sure that you have, right? Usability, liquidity. I don't know all those words. They're all idiot words. But the point is, the rest of the business team does understand those. So that's not my job. My job is to remind you guys that energy is currency. And my job is to remind you guys that there is infinite aquariums that we can choose to stuff our faces into, right? But we're all in the same fish store. So if we spread the energetic responsibility amongst ourselves, like, hey, do you want to get rich? Yeah. Do you want to get rich by yourself? I don't know. No. Do you want to get rich with 2 friends? Kinda. Do you want to get rich with 5 friends? Kinda. Do you want to get rich with 100 people that are all dope? And then take the money that you get. Take the money that you get when you get rich and give it to animal rescue places, so these dudes can rescue more animals, and then you get more energy because the animals are the energy, right? And then you're competing against hamburger coins and corn dog coins and just like people that go, bacon coins, right? When they see a pig. Bro, those people can't compete in a world full of low energy people. If you set your frequency up there, you control your destiny, right? So here's the thing about a collective reality versus an individual reality. So in your individual reality, you can do anything in the dream that is in your head, right? So you're like, well, then why can't I fly around or shoot lasers out my eyes when I'm awake? Because apparently when we're awake, we live in a collective reality. So everybody has competing interests, right? But now what if you could consolidate those competing interests into an actual talisman, right? Like, why does the Bible have weird power, right? Is it because of the Council in Nicaea, or because it's not the official word, or because there's the older Ethiopian version, or the Gnostics have a different text? What about the Dead Sea Scrolls? It doesn't matter, because enough people prayed into the Bible that by now the Bible is supercharged and energetic. And that gives it a power into itself. If we create a coin, we've already created the coin. Once we've already done it. Don't forget, this is the important part to remember. We're living in a memory of some shit that's already happened, right? Our minds are already billionaires. And we already give to animals that aren't even born yet on this planet, but are going to have permission to be born free, right? Oh, man. So, sorry, I think my neighbor was yelling at me, which I didn't care about, but I think she also might have been yelling at a bird, which I do care about. So imagine the combined energy, effort, and intent of all kinds of energetic people sharing a collective reality, right? And collectively just willing a coin to success, because you could take 2 coins with the exact same origins, the exact same attention to detail, and the exact same accoutrements and accessories to help it succeed. And one will succeed and one will fail. And there's a lot of micro decisions that have to be made in the middle. But I absolutely, if there's anybody I trust to spearhead this kind of project, it's absolutely me. So I guess, I don't know, if you know somebody else that tracked down wild monkeys in the jungles of Florida with the Black Panthers and the Diamond Heads in a kayak. If you know somebody else that did that, you should 100% buy their coin. If you know somebody else that hopped a train and went to Standing Rock when nobody else had heard of it, then you should absolutely buy that person's coin. But if you don't, then you might want to get in early on the Kudoken, because check this out. If you buy a coin when that coin is 0.000001 and that coin goes to 0.00002, you just doubled your money. That's crazy. Or you could wait for your Bitcoin that you own 0.0001 of. You could wait for that to go from 60 to 61 and go, oh, wow, that just went up 1%. So my $100 just went up to $101. So there's a ton of value. You're going to be able to do some crazy shit. I feel like I guess I could tell you guys. So we're going to have live horse track betting with crypto horses that are completely random and cruelty-free, virtual crypto horses where the blockchain ensures the complete fairness and provability of the horses in the race. And you'll be able to gamble your Kudokens against everybody else in the community at the horse track. And the horse track, the proceeds from the horse track, because it operates as like a casino, right? So ideally, even though it's provable and the odds are completely fair, the track will make money, right? So the proceeds from that track will go to programs that rehabilitate and rescue actual track horses that have been subjected to a life of racing and drugs and shots and steroids or whatever they give these poor horses that blows out their kidneys and makes them have to pee for 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time because the inside lining of their bodies is just so ruined so they could race. So yeah, so we said, oh my God, I wish I could tell you guys everything. I can't tell you guys everything. I can just only tell you the good shit. I wish I could tell you everything, but I can't tell you. I can only tell you the stuff that's been paid for. But I'm telling you, get psyched. Get psyched. Okay, now look, we got 10 minutes to go in the show. And I was thinking about that case in Minnesota, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, where that woman cop just killed that 20-year-old black kid. So the chief said, we're trained to keep the taser on the right and the gun on the left. And so I thought I'd release the video and then tell you, like, what is that? Like, nobody cares, bro. That's a weak-ass excuse. That's a weak-ass excuse. And he's like, with all my training. So I just want to show you guys something, because one time my buddy Max Smith and I, you know Max Smith, he comes on the show sometimes. He runs We Out Here. Well, nobody runs We Out Here, but he's the editor-in-chief of weouthere.net. And so him and I were challenged. They would say invited, I say challenged. They brought Max Smith and I into the police training the news did, right? The right-wing media, the conservative media, the bad guys, I mean, Jim Ferretti's a good dude, but he works for the bad guys, right? So they invited Mac and I to take their training course so that we could be shown how hard it is they wanted to show us how hard it was to be a cop. So they put us on the end. This is towards the end of their high end training, right? So look, I'm just going to let this roll for a minute. This is old. This is with the Clackamas County Sheriff, but I think it's worth giving a watch. Peep game.
Shoot, that was the question that was proposed to us as we took 2 members of the community to the Clackamas County Sheriff's Training Center to get a small peek at how a split-second decision can mean the difference between life and death.
Peter, you got a suicidal subject.
No, come on, man. I'm not going in.
Fahim Akwai and Jessie Sponberg are 2 members of the community who have been outspoken regarding police use of deadly force, not only in our area, but across the country.
2 hands, right?
2 hands.
This isn't television.
Jessie and Fahim, along with myself, started in front of a video simulation using a standard issued sidearm, only it was adapted to fire lasers and not bullets.
Man, put your hands up.
While the people on the screen were not real, the intensity was.
Oh boy.
Okay, so why did Susie Homemaker have to die here?
She had a gun to the head of her child.
Yeah, and what'd she say?
Don't make me do it.
Right. Well, what'd she say before that?
You can't take my kids away from me.
Yeah. If I can't have them, nobody will.
Yeah.
Following the indoor training, we were taken to a different area where the 3 of us took part in something that felt a lot more real. Clackamas County deputies played the role of suspects in different scenarios while we were armed with another sidearm that fired blanks. The 3 of us were tasked to defuse several different situations.
I'm gonna need you to stop. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna need you both to stop.
After each of us went through the 4 different scenarios, we took a moment to debrief with the deputies about what we just went through.
That's what I watched. Last night I watched some training videos. Yeah, and they say once you make that decision, you got to give it everything.
If you never saw when I pistol whipped a cop before.
Did this experience change in any way how Jessie and Fahim feel about the split-second choices police officers are forced to make every day?
All the scenarios that people are mad about are ones where the person didn't have to get killed, where there was other alternatives, where there were other means, but every couple of days in this country, there's another unarmed person getting killed by the cops. And I don't see all of those scenarios as going 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I see just a lot of unnecessary deaths, and from what I took today, I think that if this training is either or toggle switch, I think it might be doing more harm than good.
The deputies who worked with us through these simulations wanted us to understand that this is just a small
I listen to what this cop says.
They are put through on a regular basis.
And we did a quick little snippet for you of some of the higher end approaches to where our officers are after they begin their training, which is over 640 hours at the academy. And then depending on the agency, can be up to an additional 100 hours of training in this type of stuff.
The goal of this story was to shed some light on the split-second decisions police are forced to make every day.
What are you doing?
Not too much.
While the simulations are not perfect, as Jessie pointed out, we hope it showed the danger the men and women of law enforcement encounter. FM News 101 KXL and Alpha Media USA would like to thank the Clackamas County Sheriff's Department for making this demonstration possible.
Put it down! Hey!
Corny. Yeah, the cop said, I just want you to understand this is some of our higher end training courses. Like, that's your higher end, homie? Because I just walked in off the street and smashed that. I just came in as just a cool G off the block. Man, I was fat back then. I looked more like a cop than some of those cops did. Pants falling down. gut popping out. Thank God I don't drink no more. Yo, shout out to the sober people. So let me just go one more time through some of the people that we love and remind them that we love them. Don't forget, if you need some mystical stuff, if you're trying to make some spells, or if you're just trying to battle the effects of a global pandemic, go get some herbs, make some tea, do something, whatever. Brought to you also by 33 Bird Plaza. It's a plaza for birds. It's not just a human plaza with a cool name, I assure you. Also brought to you by the 5XL TV. 5XL TV. They are on everywhere. Just go to 5xl.com and there's shows all over the place. Also, I don't know. Can I smoke more pot if I throw up the bong company again? Can I hit the weed again? Oh damn. Dusted in this motherfucking disgusted. That's some news I gotta say for next week. If you're hip, you're hip. And yo, look, I gotta just stop for 1 second and give it up to Dirty Digital. If you guys had any idea what this dude right here has been doing for the last couple weeks, you would know why you should really, really, really think about getting some Kudokins. Let me just tell you, man, I put in 16 hours a day. Swear to God, every day. One time Vince took me to the beach for a couple hours, but the whole time I was on my phone. 16 hours a day on my phone, either making posters or putting together content or working on the website or putting together lists of animal rescue organizations that were going to turn into benefactors. Do you guys know that I'm part of the Kudokins? Fuck, I shouldn't tell you guys this, but I'll just manifest it. So, like, what are they going to say? No? Okay, here's the hard part is getting some of these places, especially the places in Florida, to figure out how to get a crypto wallet so that they can accept the coin. But once we do crack that tiny bit of difficulty, we'll be making regular contributions through the coin to a king cobra sanctuary in India, in the jungles of India. If I'm lying, I'm dying, man. If I'm lying, I'm dying. And if you want a shirt that says if I'm lying, I'm dying, go to standupandfightback.com, .bigcartel.com. What did I say? Man, I'm high. And hopefully you're watching this show on urbansurvivorman.com because we are the home of the Aloha Wall Walker. See, I can't even talk. I told you. I told you, man. Okay, so don't forget, if you missed the live episode, we'll be live again tomorrow. And you can catch us in the podcast version and on the 5XL TV tonight and on Gun Music Radio. And as always, our shit is on the YouTube page. All right, let me slide. I really wish I could tell you guys more shit about the Cobra Sanctuary, but believe you guys will get sick of hearing about Cobra Sanctuaries. Or maybe not. I don't know. It's about to be a fun ride. Hopefully you guys will get in on it. 5,000 G.
All day, every day, I was gonna win. All day, I was gonna win. I'm a kid, shining like a diamond. Call me Rocky, Muhammad Ali. On your box of Wheaties, Earth Cutter, Egg Magazine, second station first.